Prince William has finally done the one terrifying thing that his father spent his entire life refusing to do, and the absolute most shocking part of this situation isn't even the act itself. It is the incredibly ruthless, silent way he executed it. William didn't grant a massive television interview. He didn't leak a dramatic story to the tabloids. He didn't even issue a formal palace statement. He simply sat down at a desk, looked at a highly classified payroll document, located one specific name, and quietly erased it. But when you understand exactly whose name he deleted, and the deeply horrifying reason she was on that payroll in the first place, that single stroke of a pen becomes the loudest declaration of war the British royal family has seen in decades. This wasn't just an administrative update. This was Prince William looking directly at Queen Camilla and telling her that the absolute protection she enjoyed under King Charles is officially, permanently over. You are locked into Royal Watch, the only platform breaking down the raw, unvarnished truth of the monarchy. Hit that subscribe button, drop a like, and let's dive directly into how the future king just began his ultimate revenge. To truly comprehend the sheer magnitude of this silent execution, you have to understand the massive financial weapon William inherited. The absolute second Queen Elizabeth II passed away. A chain reaction fired off inside the royal family. Charles became king, but William, at 40 years old, automatically became the Duke of Cornwall. The duchy isn't just a fancy ceremonial title. It is an incredibly powerful, $1.2 billion private estate that generates tens of millions of dollars every single year, funding the heir to the throne. It controls a massive network of properties, contracts, and, most importantly, the payroll. When William took the reins, he audited the books like a man who had been waiting for this exact moment his entire life. And right there, sitting comfortably on the payroll, was Annabel Elliot, Camilla's younger sister. Following Charles and Camilla's wedding in 2005, Annabel was handed incredibly lucrative, taxpayer-funded interior design contracts across the duchy without a single competitive bidding process. For nearly 2 decades, she collected tens of thousands of pounds as if nothing had ever happened. When the annual financial accounts were published under William's control, Annabel Elliot's name was completely gone. But to understand the pure, freezing anger running through William's veins, you have to know what Annabel Elliot actually did to his mother. William didn't cut Annabel off because he disliked her interior design choices. He cut her off because her country house in Dorset served as the primary, secret safe house for Charles and Camilla's affair. While Princess Diana was trapped at home with 2 small boys, watching her marriage completely cave in and fighting to survive severe depression, Charles was quietly making his way to Annabel's house. Annabel wasn't just a passive bystander who politely looked the other way. She actively gave them the space, the cover, and the protection to destroy Diana's life. William and Harry watched the affair consume their mother from the inside out, and the fact that the woman who facilitated it was being paid through the very estate tied to William's legacy was a sick, twisted joke that he finally had the power to end. William's silent retaliation is rooted in a massive, broken promise. Before Charles married Camilla in 2005, William and Harry went to their father privately and made one specific request: please do not marry her. When Charles ignored his sons and married her anyway, the palace issued a highly publicized promise that Camilla would only ever be known as Princess Consort, never Queen. William accepted the deal, smiled for the cameras, and swallowed the pain. But he watched as Camilla slowly, methodically engineered her way to the top. By May 2023, the word consort vanished, and the woman who destroyed his mother's marriage had the actual crown placed upon her head. Camilla didn't just wait for power. She actively managed the press, whispering in Charles's ear to shape his perception of his own sons. When Camilla's team allegedly planted a false story that Meghan had made Kate cry before the 2018 wedding, William confronted his father, only for Charles to shout at him and defend Camilla. William realized then that the system was built entirely to protect her, and he began quietly storing every single slight, waiting for his moment. The power struggle quickly escalated from financial documents directly into family traditions. The royal family's Christmas at Sandringham is one of the most sacred, heavily guarded traditions of the monarchy. But last year, Camilla decided to flex her authority by inviting her son, Tom Parker Bowles, to the highly exclusive family gathering. William was absolutely furious and made his position clear. If Tom was present, he would not attend. Camilla called his bluff and invited her son anyway. Instead of causing a massive, public screaming match, William simply refused to attend the main lunch at the big house, choosing to spend Christmas at Anmer Hall with Kate and their children. Camilla essentially forced the future King of England out of his own family Christmas at an estate he will one day own, simply to prove she held the power. But if the Christmas mutiny was a tactical strike, Camilla's recent behavior toward Catherine, Princess of Wales, was the absolute final straw. William loves his wife fiercely, and she is the one strict, non-negotiable boundary he will not allow anyone to cross. But Camilla pushed anyway. During a highly publicized state visit from President Donald Trump and Melania at Windsor Castle, the world watched a horrifying dynamic unfold on international television. While Kate was warmly engaging in conversation with Melania, Camilla arrived and aggressively, dismissively waved Kate away with a sharp hand motion, treating the future Queen of England like a bothersome servant standing in the wrong spot. William watched this blatant, calculated disrespect happen in real time. His retaliation was immediate. Later during the visit, when protocol demanded that William bow his head in formal acknowledgement of Camilla's senior rank, he completely refused. He offered her a brief, incredibly cold double kiss on the cheek, a casual greeting reserved for a distant acquaintance, and walked away. It was a massive public display of utter contempt. Camilla has spent decades outmaneuvering people who underestimated her. But she is utterly terrified of Prince William because he has never underestimated her for a single second. She is currently enjoying the height of her power, but she is living inside a massive, inescapable real estate trap. Sandringham and Balmoral Castle are not owned by the British government. They are privately owned by the monarch. When Charles passes, those multimillion-dollar estates transfer instantly and automatically directly to William. And here is the truly terrifying detail for Camilla. She sold Ray Mill House, the only private property she actually owned, years ago. When Charles dies, Camilla will have no private property of her own anywhere on the planet. The woman who spent 20 years engineering her way to the top, who managed the press, and who publicly shooed away the future queen, will be entirely dependent on the goodwill of the man who just silently fired her sister. The era of Queen Camilla operating with complete impunity is rapidly coming to an absolute, terrifying end. She played the longest, most manipulative game in royal history, completely surviving public outrage and Diana's memory to get the actual crown placed upon her head. But her entire empire of influence is currently entirely dependent on the fragile, failing health of King Charles. Behind closed doors, Charles is reportedly begging William to leave Camilla alone and protect her after he is gone. But William's answer is already playing out in real time. He isn't screaming or fighting. He is replacing her allies, cutting her family off the payroll, and silently dismantling her entire network, piece by piece. The boy who walked behind Diana's coffin is now the most powerful man in Britain, and he is just getting started. I want to hear exactly what you guys think about this massive power shift. Was William completely justified in cutting Annabelle off, and is Camilla right to be terrified of his future reign? Drop your absolute most honest thoughts down in the comments below. Make sure you hit that subscribe button to stay locked in on the truth, and I will see you all in the very next video.